Και να πάμε λίγο πιο γρήγορα και να καλωσορίσουμε τον Αλέσιο Aceti. Ο Αλέσιο είναι ο Vice President της Kaspersky για νέες επιχειρήσεις, ψάχνει καινοτόμα project και ουσιαστικά πιστεύει ότι κανένας μας δεν είναι 100% ασφαλής, δεν μας λέει και κάτι καινούριο, στον ψηφιακό κόσμο. Σύμφωνα με τον Αλέσιο, η λέξη κλειδί που εκεί θα παιχτεί όλο το πράγμα, δεν είναι πόσο σφιχτό μπορεί να είναι ένα security system, είναι περισσότερο πόσο χτίζεται ένα πλαίσιο εμπιστοσύνης. Και σήμερα είναι μαζί μας για να μοιραστεί μερικά από αυτά τα μυστικά από για πώς θα χτίσουμε καλύτερα ένα πλαίσιο εμπιστοσύνης. Ας τον καλωσορίσουμε.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. So I didn't understand so much from the introduction as unfortunately I don't speak any Greek, but I understood my name and the name of the company I work for, I trust it was good. So as you understood, I'm from cybersecurity industry and okay, thank you guys for inviting me here and I'm really happy it's my first time in Athens, so I will try to combine work and tourism in this short trip. But what I really liked when I received this invitation was the fact that this was presented to me as a different conference. So you know, in cybersecurity we do tons of conference, talks, seminar, workshop and all this stuff, and most of them is like 1, 2, 3 days telling how much AI is good, how much blockchain is good, how much this machine learning algorithm will solve all the problem of the world. And you listen to people who are pitching and pitching new solution based on this technology for 2 or 3 days long, and sometimes even in kind of not so proper way. I mean, I saw sometimes blockchain-based application that you could easily do without blockchain. It will be the same result with less efforts. And that was like the reason why I liked the idea of this conference, because they asked me, try to think about good and bad aspects of all these technologies and how they're changing the way we are living and working. And this was very interesting. So I said, yes, I will come with pleasure. And then I was thinking, starting to build my presentation and my speech, I said, this is very difficult. Actually, I never so much thought about this, and this brought to me a lot of difficult moment, and I hope in the next 15, already 13 minutes to give you something valuable. I have very small disclaimer. Till 40 minutes ago, I didn't know that somebody would be on Skype. So I made some, I would say, Skype talks in my presentation, and please forgive me, I didn't know about this. As I said, I work in cybersecurity. Actually, I work in Kaspersky Lab. Somebody knows Kaspersky Lab here? Okay, almost everybody. So our marketing team is doing good job with awareness here in Greece. I will tell them. So we are a company of a bit more than 4,000 employees. Company is doing cybersecurity from 20 years, nothing so interesting. I'm working in Kaspersky from 6 years. I'm Italian. I think from my accent you can easily understand. And from 2 years I live in Moscow. What I do in Moscow with my team, we work on new technologies. Actually, we go around inside and outside of the company. We look for interesting technologies, interesting solutions and services based on machine learning, blockchain, artificial intelligence. We work with the team who developed this technology to check if from the business perspective is working and scalable. And if it's working, we make with them a business plan and we try to bring them on the market. A few stuff we do, industrial cybersecurity, transportation security, so all the security for connected cars, so for all the new cars, and some other stuff, services for crypto exchange, ICO. And basically, I was thinking that all these technologies are security of something good, something new. And I was thinking, why we need it? Why we need security inside the car now and before we didn't? It was not necessary. There was a brake, then there was airbag. It was enough. Why cybersecurity? And I had to think, and I had to go back and back in time, actually. Actually, I had to go back like thousands of years, when the humans started to change the way we communicate and work on some point on authentication. But I want to tell a bit about myself. So I was a kid. I was born in a town of 900 people, very small town. Everybody knew everybody. And I was going to a grocery store with my mom. And there was only one grocery store in the town. And the addressable market of the owner of the grocery store was the 900 people living in the town. For sure, we trusted him. There was no issues with maybe he's selling us something bad. He was telling us, if you want to make this Italian recipe, you need this meat. Oh, the most fresh vegetable today is that one. And everything was fine. And the same was at the bank. The same was at the city hall. The same was at the post office. Nowadays, everything is done completely in a different way. So we share our information online. We chat with friends online. We manage our money online. We interact with companies and government online. And there is a challenge here. And a lot of technologies we saw before are made just to overcome this challenge. We, by default, don't trust because we don't know who is on the other side. We don't know if the website where we are putting our information is the real one or it's a fake one. And the same is the other way around. If you have a company and you're providing service to people, if you are a bank, and as a bank you allow your customers to, transfer money online or through mobile application, the first challenge you have is to be sure that the customer is exactly the same person he pretends to be. And not only, the first stuff you need to check is if this guy is a real human or a robot. And for this reason, every day, every week, we need to recognize some vehicles or buses or other stuff. Kind of annoying. So, again, this it's because we do stuff in different way. We communicate in different way. 150 years ago, we put the first cable under the ocean between Europe and North America. 50 years ago, a bit more, Russian sent Yuri Gagarin into the space and satellite communication started. And in 1974, more or less, beginning of ARPANET, that is what is developed into internet nowadays. And from this moment, everything became faster, innovation became faster. And today we have this stuff, machine learning, AI, blockchain, and big data. And here, I want to ask you, whom of you ever used LinkedIn to find a new job or to find career opportunities? More than half of you, actually. And how it works there? You will see some opportunities, actually based on your location, based on your career, based on your education. So there is a big data algorithm behind who analyze all this stuff and position to you best opportunity that best suit you. And the same is from other side. Recruiters will receive a lot of candidates, like nowadays you received hundreds of candidates every time you post a job position. And for sure there are some big data algorithms that take away the candidates with no any credential for this job and highlight the most suitable candidates. This is good. What do you think is good? Yes, this is good. I agree, very, very good. And I think my colleagues recruiter, they agree even more than me, that they don't have to watch thousands of resumes manually. But there are maybe some bad aspects. I was trying to think about this, and first one, it's privacy. It's big data, means huge amount of data. And the story is that more the data are private, more the information are interesting, better these algorithms work. Actually, private data is the fairy dust that makes this magic math working properly. And another issue with big data is that people consider big data as kind of science. Actually, it's not science. Let's think about physics and rockets. If you're a fan of Big Bang Theory, this will look like a discussion between Sheldon Cooper and Wolowitz. Physics is a science. any physics rule. It's written. It's proven on the paper and experimentally. It's public, so all of you can open any book, any web page, and check it. And scientific committee approved it. Rockets are engineering stuff based on some principle of the physics, and you don't know how they work, actually. You can't go in Wikipedia and see how the last rocket from some country work. You need just to trust that it will work, and actually sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, maybe because of bad condition. And the same is with big data. Yes, there are mathematical algorithms behind it, but you don't know which algorithm. You don't know who wrote them. You don't know if they are actually very good or not. And you just need to trust them. Or if you have access to them for some reason, and you are a mathematician, you can try to analyze it. But you see, it's very, very complicated. And 4 point here, even if you have an algorithm, even if you trust it, results of working on big data can be subjective. Can be any person can identify, can interpret the result in different way. Let's think that a chain of big supermarket try to analyze all the vegetables sold through the supermarket for a long time, analyzing big pool of customers. And at the end, they will say that 30% of people like potatoes and 70% of people like carrots. So I'm a huge fan of potatoes. I adore them. I can eat them in any sauce. And for me, I would say, wow, 30%, so small number. Why only 30% of people like potatoes? My colleague Vitali there, he doesn't like potato. He hates them. He eat only carrots. And he will say 30% of people like potatoes. How can that so many people like potatoes? They are disgusting. So you see, any result is actually matter of personal interpretation. And another bad point about big data is that actually you can't step out. Let's think that, I don't know, your country use big data for some services, or company you're working with use big data to analyze some stuff, or the supermarket where you're buying carrots and potato use big data. You can't say, I don't like this stuff, I quit. There is no way, because even there is a lot of like GDPR, privacy law, and so on in different countries, they still use your data to analyze them with some magic math that you basically don't know. And you can't really step out of this. You just need to accept and proceed. And if I go back to the LinkedIn example, for example, you can say, okay, I don't want recruiters to use big data to find me. Try to find a job without a LinkedIn profile. Maybe in my industry, it's really not possible. They will not even consider you. You can't send them a letter or an email with your CV attached. It doesn't work at all. So based on all this stuff, maybe we can see, maybe, is this bad? So maybe all this technology is just not so good as we thought. Actually, no. We should sometimes stop and analyze other effects of this technology. I was doing this for the first time, so I usually work with big data and all this stuff, and I never, before preparing this presentation, stopped and think about this aspect. What I want to share with you is that we need to think about this aspect. We need to find a way to change these bad aspects. And I see here, I saw startups before, a lot of innovators, and it's not a deal of somebody else, it's our deals, guys. We can work to make these technologies, big data algorithms, any other technology, more transparent. Anytime we develop a technology that somehow play with data of people, we should allow independent researcher to review the source code, to take a look at it. We should not, like the physics, we should make it public. We should not close it in some safe and say, okay, my 2 guys did it in my apartment, it's good, it will work forever. No, we should think about ethics. We should work on law. Some of us live in different countries, and we represent prominent industries of this country. We should work with our regulators to be sure that privacy laws, that all the laws that protect the data of people really understand how big data works. And not only them, we should find a nice way to explain to all the people how big data works, how these magic algorithms actually are made, and how the outcome is made. It's easy to find simple words to explain it. I don't know, if 10 years ago I was trying to explain some cybersecurity stuff to people, they were watching me like, okay, you are talking about some stuff I will never understand. And now, these concepts are in the daily life of all of us. So the same should be here. And yes, trust them, but verify them. If you are a recruiter, maybe check a couple of resumes that were not selected by an automatic algorithm. Whatever you're doing. If you have a service that uses big data algorithm, allow your user to submit to you anomalies if they find them. Just be more transparent. And there is one stuff that cannot be replaced by any technology. It was mentioned before in other presentations already. It's emotions, it's feelings. And while I was preparing this presentation, I was thinking, what if instead to go there, instead of taking an airplane and go to Greece, I would just Skype it. It would be the same content, yes. I would tell exactly the same words. It will be the same speaker with the same bad Italian accent. You will be the same amazing audience. The slides will be the same, maybe small here, but there will be the same slides. But I think presentation outcome would be completely different. For me, because I met organizer, I met all of you, I spent time, I drink a coffee. For you, because I'm pretty sure that when you meet each other, it's very different feelings. And I was thinking about this, and I was saying, okay, from like 10 or 15 years, okay, from 150 years, we have cables under the ocean. But from 10, 15 years, we have very good tools for remote meetings and remote conference. I don't know, Cisco, Citrix, Microsoft, tons of tools. But in the budget of companies, travel still represents quite a big portion. That means that we can't replace human interaction in any way with technology. Any seminar, business meeting, if you talk with salespeople, if they call the customer or if they go there, it's a completely different story. So I want to close my presentation, and I'm 2 minutes late already, telling that any technologies you are developing, any new product you are creating, any disrupting technology you are making, don't forget about feelings, don't forget about meeting people, don't forget about shaking hands. Remember that we, at the end, are still human. Thank you.